You're watching College Sports Rush's Sports Bettor's Paradise on the Bet Rivers Network.
All right, Jimmy Ott, Charles Hanagriff talking college baseball and over the profitable week. We've been doing this 4 weeks, and it's 4 straight profitable weeks. Knock on wood, baby. Let's get to it. Plus 8.86 units. So all 3 games, 1-run games last week. So all were very close. And you know what? We don't have a price in here like this, but it's worth mentioning. And I'm bringing it up because there's some value in this low-volume betting sport that we try to find. We talk about Ole Missouri went to College Station last week, 0-24 in the league. If you had a $100 parlay in those 3 games, which you kind of can't. You can't really bet if parlays. But a $100 parlay in those 3 wins at College Station would have paid a cool $234,800. So let's just say if you rolled it over, your $100, you won with the 6-run ninth. They won 9-6. Then they win the other 2 games comfortably. It would have paid $179,776. So there's some value. I'll get to a future pick that we have also when we're talking about to win it all. So let's get right to it because last week of the regular season, so a full slate on Thursday. This will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday series in the SEC moving forward to the following week. And let's get some winners, Charlie. Auburn at 16-11 going to Oxford. Swayze Field, baby. The Rebels 14-13. Projecting this line, Auburn probably will be a road favorite here. They are rolling. Their RPI is up to number 2. And this is also the focus of my future bet because some of the other traditional favorites like Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, I think Auburn is just as good. Auburn swept LSU earlier this year, and they are just as good. All those teams are like first, second, third choice. Auburn's down the list at 30-1. It just moved from 40-1 to 30-1, and you might want to get it on it before the brackets come out because they will be a top 8 national seed. But you like them in this spot to keep it going with their ace on Thursday night at Ole Miss. We're looking at about $1.30, $1.40 range here.
Yeah, since they got swept at Texas in the middle of April, they're 10-2. They won their last 3 SEC series. They had kind of a goofy schedule last week in South Carolina because they played a game on Thursday night, which was scheduled, and then for the rain, they moved it up to a doubleheader on Friday. So Sam Dutton, who is their ace, pitched the first game of the doubleheader on Friday. They swept South Carolina easy, but it's the first time that Dutton hadn't pitched well in an SEC game. He gave up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. The other 8 SEC starts, his ERA is 2.83. So I'm going to call this a one-off, maybe the schedule, whatever it was. I expect him to bounce back. He's had a really outstanding year. And Auburn is a top 8 right now. It's really jumbled up. I think they're in great shape. I think they'd have to probably get swept here to put themselves in jeopardy, but you don't want to leave that up to the committee. On the other side, though, Hunter Elliott has been solid for Ole Miss this year. You know, we rode him to the College World Series title a few years ago, and he spent 2 years injured. He's been a 5-inning guy, Jimmy. You can set your watch by him. He threw 8 SEC starts. About 5 1/3 innings, he gives up about 2.5 runs, but that's it. You know, he's not going to get you deeper into games than that. What concerns me about Ole Miss is the offense. Last 12 SEC games, they've had 3 runs or less 6 times. They had 10 runs total in the Oklahoma series, 16 total in the state series, and 10 of those came in one game. So they are coming home after 2 straight weeks on the road, but they're just not scoring as many runs as you'd like to see. And Auburn is rolling right now. They blew out South Carolina. They had 18 runs in the series against Tennessee, 27 in the series against State. I like Auburn here on the road and Sam Dutton to bounce back.
All right. Like I said, at Bet Rivers, the favorite to win it all is Arkansas plus 400. LSU second choice at plus 600. That series, LSU took to 2 of 3, including game 2, a mercy rule against the Arkansas Razorbacks. We give the Hogs credit coming back and salvaging that game 1. So it showed me a little moxie there. And then Tennessee, the defending champs, not playing like the defending champs at plus 800. We didn't have Tennessee to win the series last week. We had them in a desperate spot. We felt like they had to win the series, but we liked their ace going in game 1. They took care of game 1. and they dropped the next two at home to Vanderbilt in kind of a must-win spot. Their host site, not just the top 8 national seed where you host for the regional and the super regional round, but just to host in the regional round, that 9-16 range, is very much in jeopardy. But it's been their ace, even in a loss in Baton Rouge. He left with a 3-0 lead in the ninth inning, a 6-run bottom of the ninth against the bullpen, cost the Volunteers. And oh, by the way, just tremendous coincidence here. Tennessee's losing, they get in a fight. Tony Vitello, he's very classy when they're winning national championships. Nothing wrong there, but it's just kind of funny how that correlates. But Arkansas is brutally tough at home, Charlie. We know they just spanked Texas last time there at Baum Stadium. We know their record at home, but Arkansas, we're projected to be a slight favorite in here. Tennessee, with this pitcher in this need spot, though, you're going to ride the ace.
This is the only place that Liam Doyle, who is a projected top 5 pick in the draft, MLB.com's got him at number 2, ESPN's got him at number 4. He's 98 from the left side, and he's had a monster year. So 3 weeks ago in that series against LSU, he was minus 120 against Cade Anderson, who was minus 110 in that same game. Well, Anderson, where Doyle is projected 2, Anderson's projected 3. Where Doyle is projected 4, Anderson's projected 5. And that game was on the road in Baton Rouge. If he was a favorite there, this is the only place in the country he's going to be a slight underdog. And that's why we're taking him here. Jimmy, he's been so good. In the last 4, so since the beginning of April, his ERA is 1.42. That includes 6 2/3 shutout innings at LSU and 7 shutout innings at Vandy. I mean, those are hard places to win, and he's been dominant. 18 strikeouts, 3 walks in those. He's as good as any pitcher you're going to see. Tennessee has now lost 4 straight series in 5 of 6. You mentioned the host site. They got to win this series if they want any chance to host. And this is, I think if they were going somewhere like South Carolina, Missouri, they'd have no chance to host. But because they got a chance to put some quality wins on the board at Baum Stadium, where Arkansas is 30-3, they could play themselves back in. So this is a real sense of urgency for Tennessee if they want to host in the postseason. They'll probably see Zach Root when Doyle pitches. Root has been much better in his last 2 starts. He was good against LSU, was dominant against Texas. The 4 starts before that, the ERA was over 7. So I like Liam Doyle here. We're expecting him in game 1.
All right, but keep in mind, try to get on the Tennessee baseball Twitter, whatever you can, to make sure, because this is, you Major League Baseball bettors will know this. This is a circle. I mean, this is circling your pitcher and Liam Doyle. This is all about the starter. Because of change in schedules, sometimes there's a little bit of finagling, a little bit of adjustment to try and keep guys on schedule for some of these pitchers, but it is clearly a circle of the starter here in Liam Doyle, who could go off as a slight favorite. If he went off minus money at Alex Box Stadium, Baton Rouge, he could do the same in Arkansas, but deeper into the schedule as they continue to lose. I'm not so sure. Tennessee just 15-12 in the conference play this year. Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee. Talk about those Commodores who went to Knoxville and took 2 of 3 after dropping the first one to Liam Doyle. And I think it was a 3-2 game in that game 1. And Vandy now against Kentucky. Kentucky swept Oklahoma. Give Mangione a lot of credit for getting as much juice out of this team as he can, because they have been riddled with injuries. So the Kentucky now 13-14. They're going to be in the tournament, but Vandy is going to be a prohibitive favorite in this one. $170 to $2 range here. Vandy at 16-11. They got to be feeling great after going to Knoxville and taking care of business there.
Yeah, so we've had a great deal of success following J.D. Thompson, the Vandy ace. We have taken him at home. We have faded him on the road, and we're 4-0 doing that. So here's the deal. Last week, he had his best road outing against Tennessee. He only gave up 2 runs in 6 innings. Doyle beat him. They lost 3-2, but he pitched very well there. Vanderbilt came back in the last 2 games of that series and scored 17 runs, including 7 in the last 2 innings of the Sunday game to win that one by a single run. Vandy's 25-5 at home, and we talked a little bit about the emotions of college baseball. Kentucky coming off that sweep against Oklahoma. Now they got to go on the road at a tough spot at Vandy. I give them credit for beating Kyson Witherspoon. They beat him 4-3. He had one bad inning in that game, but Nate Harris, the starter for Kentucky, kind of labored through 4 2/3. The bullpen picked him up. Neither team scored after the fifth inning. Kentucky is 3-6 in SEC game ones. Okay. They have just not been as good in those game ones. Vandy, I think, is the clear favorite here. They're a top 8 national seed right now, but like Auburn, don't lose a series like this one and leave it in the hands of the committee. Long as they take 2 out of 3, they'll be fine for a top 8 national seed. They're an RPI 3.
I have to ask you, though, we're going against one of our angles here, though, and that is, listen, Vandy and Tennessee, Vandy's little brother when it comes to on the athletic. I mean, academics, it's flip-flopped. I get that. But in baseball, they can look Tennessee in the eye, and they won national championships before Tennessee did last year. But to go in there, we saw how it was heated, got in a little scuffle, the whole bit. Are we worried about a little emotional letdown to follow up? Because there's some emotion in Knoxville last week with Vanderbilt winning 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I would say to you that's a little bit of a concern, but I think Kentucky's coming off an emotional sweep as well. And the last time Kentucky went on the road, they got swept at Mississippi State, who is near the bottom of the league. So they haven't been very good on the road. They haven't been very good in game ones. So that's sort of my angle, that and J.D. Thompson.
All right, speaking of the halves in college baseball, and this is one of those, I know it's, again, a low-volume sport, but, man, nobody had the resources that Florida did before the NIL era, okay? And they just don't have the interest in the support financially and numbers of fans, facilities, the whole bit, that, say, an LSU, a Tennessee, an Arkansas, and a couple of others in the SEC. With all of their success, I mean, they were bringing a guy as a fifth starter in the SEC tournament like an A.J. Puck, 6'7", throws 97 from the left side. I mean, it is hurt at O'Sullivan at Gainesville. And we said, man, is this thing over? I mean, they still got a ton of kids playing baseball in the state of Florida, but they're 1-11 in the league. They've since gone 12-3. What about this turnaround in Gainesville, including a couple of series victories against Arkansas, against Texas, who are going to be top 3 or 4 national seeds when this thing comes out. Bama, it's a big turnaround. They're exceeding expectations by everybody's standards. And what about maybe their biggest series win of the season? Georgia taking 2 of 3 after dropping the last one, their last weekend series. They're 15-12 in the SEC, and they're probably going to host. But this Florida turnaround under Sully, who's won national championships, played for it all, and we're just wondering if he was going to be an NIL casualty. Well, they've turned it around this year.
Yeah, my angle in this game is how much Alabama has, all of those things you said about Florida, and how much Alabama has struggled in game ones. They really don't have an ace. They went from Zane Adams to Tyler Fay 4 weeks ago. He's okay, but he's going to be about a 4 or 5 inning guy at the most. His ERA is over 6 in those games. And Alabama has struggled against other aces since the beginning of April. This is their Friday night record. Run ruled at Auburn, run ruled at State, lost to LSU by 5, hung on to beat a winless Missouri team 7-5. That was the night of the NFL draft. Run ruled at Vandy, run ruled at Georgia. So you take a team that's as hot as Florida and you put him up against, I think Fay's okay. The Alabama bullpen is their Achilles heel, has been all year. You get him out after 4 or 5 innings, and teams have feasted on that Bama bullpen in game ones. Now, give Alabama credit. They've come back and won a lot of these series, but game ones, they have just been really, really struggling. Now, compromising this game a little bit for Florida is I don't think we're going to see Liam Peterson, their ace, in game number 1. Been kind of a goofy schedule. He went out against South Carolina 2 weeks ago. He threw to 1 batter. The rain started. They had to sit him. They brought him back on Saturday. So they didn't want to throw him in game 1 against Texas. So they threw him in game 2, which was Saturday. He threw 85 pitches, I believe, in that game. No, I'm sorry, 66 pitches in that game, 85 against South Carolina the week before. I don't think they turn him around Saturday to Thursday after 66 pitches. I could be wrong. They will probably throw an opener. They threw Pierce Coppola against Texas. He's thrown 3 shutout innings since the comeback. He was out for 2 months, but Florida's got a deep, deep staff. Last 3 weeks, they gave up 14 runs to Arkansas, 8 to South Carolina, and 8 to Texas. That's 30 runs total in the last 9 SEC games. So they've got a deep staff. They've got a lot of guys. Peterson's been the best, but if he doesn't go in game 1, I still like the Gators here because of Alabama's game 1 struggles.
Conference tournament weeks next week, and they're started very early. We'll be starting very early for you as well. It's tricky with but some coaches have shown a pattern that they invest more in the conference tournament than others. There is a big disparity on level of commitment, allowing pitchers to go deeper than others. And then we get to the field of 64 the following week. For Charles Hanagriff, I'm Jimmy Ott, talking college baseball each and every week through Omaha on the Sports Bettor's Paradise on the Bet Rivers Network.
Thanks for watching College Sports Rushes, Sports Bettor's Paradise on the Bet Rivers Network.